Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here of Gregtech Community Edition Unofficial. Last time, I believe we got this blast furnace. Not the. Alright, not gonna lie, I was a little bit confused. I know for a fact last time we got these mixers, the electrolyzer, and the extruder going up so that we can get some stuff ready. Because I thought we were pretty much ready to get an oil rig set up, but we weren't. So this time here, I grabbed all of the stuff ready. Pay no mind to the random chests. A storage room is on the way. Um, However, I did get stuff ready to build ourselves an assembler so we can actually get this oil rig made. So we're just going to jump right into it. Grabbed ourselves these robot arms, which the robot arms are made just like the original, just using aluminum, basically MV materials, aluminum, copper cables, the better circuits, pistons, which are made with the better materials, and the circuits, which are the motors, which are made with the better materials. Same with the conveyors, but we just need to slap all those in there with the MV, the circuits, all that stuff. We got ourselves our advanced assembling machine. Now, that was a quest that we did have unlocked to start getting into. Where was that one at? Hello? Was it the low voltage quest? No? Milestones? I have no idea. Hmm. Not sure. Oh, right there. Advanced assembling. So advanced assembling is staple for every tier, or sorry, the assembling machine is a staple for every tier, an important goal to unlock more recipes and progress further into the age. The MV assembling machine unlocks transistors, capacitors, and inductors. So let's look up those really quick. So we got transistors. So it looks like yeah. So these are used to make our microprocessors or to start getting into the advanced stuff. So it looks like those are the LV, MV stuff that we need. And those, let's just look at that recipe again. That's actually pretty nice. Fine tin wire, 6 of them with 1 silicone plate and some polyethylene to get 8 transistors. I think that's just as good as making those other things, but the problem is that we can't do anything without making these microprocessors from what I saw. These microprocessors are what's going to let us start. I guess not. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Uses, I guess it lets us get one more out of the materials that we craft it with. It's actually pretty nice. So we definitely need it for all of those. But the main thing I wanted to get started with this, as we've tried to do, I think, what, 2 or 3 episodes in a row now, is we're going to grab the rest of our stuff for making an oil rig. So just going to make sure this stuff doesn't get stuck in something else. And with the oil rig stuff, I got a whole chest over here we're going to have to transport over there in a second. But to make the control block, you do need, first of all, the assembling machine. You need 4 of the circuits, 1 MB machine hole, 4 vanadium steel gears, which means you need a total of 16 vanadium steel with one of the extruders to get this, 4 steel frame boxes, 4 MV electric pumps, and 4 electric motors. And then I believe I just need to go get myself a configure thing. Fluid drill platform assembler. Yep, so I need to put that on a 2. Do I have one of them over here? I do. So let's go ahead and switch that to a 2. And we'll go ahead and slap that on in there. And that should make ourselves this lovely basic fluid drilling rig. Make sure we got enough fuel in there to help keep that powered. Now here after 20 seconds, we can go ahead and grab the rest of the blocks here. So you do need a bunch of solid steel casings. You need an output hatch, an LV energy hatch, and this is a fluid output hatch, and 15 steel frames. So grab all of that and we'll head over grab our basic fluid drilling rig, and then we'll head over to a place that I've picked out to go ahead and build a platform. Now, full discretion, I was out mining and I found myself a glitch. So I was just out mining around, wanted to be able to see when I reached the end of an ore vein. So you can see if I right click with it in my right hand, it works properly, right? That's with the LV diamond mining drill. If you pull out the MV diamond mining drill, I'm gonna have to go ahead and put this in, but you know, if you guys want to use this miner glitch until then, you can actually see what oil you have in different areas. So I basically came over here and built this little platform with a water pump and some solar boilers over here to be able to get this started. We're going to go ahead and plant this down right over here. So first thing I'm going to need is we need to place this right there. And then if I shift click on it with an empty hand, it should show me how I need to build it. So I do want my energy thing right over here, lined right up with this block here. So I want it to be facing that way. Take the drum and move it there. Then we're going to take these solid steel casings and we're going to go, I think we go just, yeah, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do that one, and then we're going to place, I want the output hatch over here. Then we got to go up 1. That's not the right block. Why does it get... The fact that it keeps giving me the steel drum is kind of irritating. So we got to go 1, 2, 3. And then from there we go 1, 2, 3. Get that on my other hand. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. And then on the top, we go 1, 2, and 3. That should finish up. And it is formed. So it is telling me it needs more energy, which is a little bit frustrating because it told me it only needed... Like, the way that the multi-block structure stuff says it works is that it'll show you in the recipe of the thing. There's another multi-block. I don't remember which multi-block it was. I think it was the blast furnace. No. Powering multi-blocks. Multi-blocks do not look at the voltage for the recipe. Instead, simply check if they have power requirement. Electric blast furnace needs at least. So, yeah, they're basically like, it should have a power requirement. And it turns out that the power requirement, I don't think it listed off in here. Maybe if I hit uses. Yeah, it doesn't list off the power requirement. So, with it needing, is saying it needed these ULV energy hatches, I was like, oh, well, if it only needs the ULV energy hatches, I can just slap on 4 of these and put it up to that. So, that looks like that's not going to work. So what I'm going to need to do is we're going to need to take this one out. And I'm thinking I don't really want to make enough boilers to give this enough energy. Because I could do it. It's just 15 boilers, and I have 4, 8, 10. So I would only need to make 5 more. But as it'll show you here in a second, I did already make one of those boiling apparatuses, and it does feel a little bit cheaty. But we will see. Let's go check this over here. Go sleep one more time, and I'll show you this boiling apparatus I made. Because 15 of these, it's just over 14, unfortunately. So that's the only obnoxious part about it. But 15 of these can be fueled by one of these things. That's the best part as well. So I'll probably just make a bunch more of these pipes and do the same structure I have here, which will fit onto that platform over there. But then the way that you would power it is you just run it across over like this. And the only difference I would have to do is I would have to make one, like, branch it out so that I can have two of them feed into a battery buffer, the battery buffer feed into what I need it to. And it looks like that's probably what I'm going to have to do if I really want to power this the way I was going to, because I'm going to need a second LV hatch as well. So I guess I should have read the... Well, no. I guess there's nothing I could have really done to read this quest any better and find out what it needed, because there's no recipe that tells me what the energy requirement of this is. I don't even think the book tells you. Look at that. So source of oil vein or fluid veins are 8x8 chunks. Each vein has different fluid type, but there are mostly types oil. You're not able to prospect for fluid yet. That was something where I was like, when I found that mining, I was kind of like, oh, okay. They will generate anywhere from 150 to 300 liters per second. Which I did want to check. How much does this drains? I think that should drain fast enough. But yeah, then it doesn't say anything about how much power they need. So that's the only thing that was a little bit bothersome. And I think since I'm already 5 short of being able to make the boiling apparatus, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Probably do something, extend this out by one more here. I have any of my chisel stuff. But just basically break this, extend it one more out, and join these platforms that I made. And we'll have ourselves a little bit of a rig, I guess. Just need to make one more of those LB hatches and make that boiling apparatus again. So I will be back after I've done that. Alright guys, we're back here. I'm just grabbing the finishing touches for project. Basically just have to fill some batteries up so we can get the thing functioning properly. That's not sodium, soda light. So, just to get a couple more extra things of sodium, using the soda light that I've managed to get from all the lapis stuff that I've been processing, gives me some aluminum, silicon, and each one gives me 4 sodium, which I filled 2 batteries. Where is this battery? This bat's got to be underneath my platform or something. That was a mistake, not filling everything. Alright, now it should have the sodium required, and it does give us some chlorine that we can use later, but over here, with the rest of our battery alloy, go ahead and slap that on in there. We should have a canning machine just back over here. I actually have to pick it up and move it. No, actually I do. Didn't realize I did have it hooked up. As you can see, we have gotten this area a little bit fashioned up to try to get machines slapped in here. The only thing that's holding me back right now is trying to get this phosphate wire. But once I get enough of that, I'm going to be moving the rest of the machines all in here, lining them up against the walls, doing a little bit of design work, making sure that everything's automated, because these are actually quite automated already. Getting thermal centrifuge is getting the purified ore, slapping it in there, running it through, dumping it into this chest, or the crate. And the reason I've got the crates is because later on I can actually put these things on the side of the crates, and they will actually work on the side of the crate, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So you can just put the LV conveyor on it and be like, okay, well I need you to go here, and you can have everything empty out. You can even have stuff pull from other stuff, regulate what it's going to pull. So I would be able to dispense out of this crate over here, and then have this one pull all of the purified rocks. I do think I would have to find one of each to put in the item filter, unfortunately. But I want to test out the ore dictionary thing, because I might be able to just have it do purified stuff. If not, then there is a way to get it for machine-specific crafts. The only worry is for this one here. The issue is it can use both the purified or the crushed, and this one can only use the crushed. So we want to do the purified over here because that's going to give us some yields of stuff that we can't get otherwise. Whereas this one will run the same operation. It'll just spit out some stone dust with it as well if you do that, which is not particularly something I want. So now if we can grab the rest of these, should be able to make 7 more battery cells. And the reason I need 7 more is because I do have one already in the canning machine, as I already showed you a second ago. Slap the rest of these in here, get the rest of our batteries. And then we'll take it over and I'll show you kind of how this build went so that I could get it set up properly. So we do need at least 2 bare minimum, but I just want 4 over there so that it can generate and hold power. That way if I do forget to sleep, it'll still run for a little bit. But now if we go ahead and grab this, let's get over here, just shoot on over. So we have basically set up, I moved this platform up to be level just because I figured at this point might as well. Underneath we got it wired out, and I do have some facade covers over the pipes, but it wires up into the underneath to pump it in, and I use the regular size pipes to get it over to this one, and once I get it over here I split it off into small pipes for the rest of them because we don't need that much throughput on the water. In fact, we actually are probably going to be able to pipe some of the water out to do some of our processing of it. But then I do use the huge pipes just because the huge pipes are the only ones with enough throughput to be able to put the steam from 5 or more of these. I think it was the medium has enough to put through 5. But you're going to be splitting between the middle one too, so you have to use the large ones if you want to make sure you have the proper throughput. But now, if I go ahead and slap 4 batteries in there, 4 batteries in there, we should start generating power. It looks like we are, and it is going in and immediately pumping. So I think if we look over here, yep, we're getting some oil. It's running through its operations here. So now the only other thing I think I'm going to do, we're going to expand this out probably 1 more, or I'm thinking actually like doing a whole separate little platform for it made of a bunch more of these wooden frames just to climb up to it. But I'm going to make a big old steel tank here. We'll look at what we got to do with this oil. So if I look in here, I guess I can't look at this. But let's go ahead and look at the crafting stuff, or the quest book. So with the quest book, it's got US Simulator. It wants to get us a basic pump, which the only issue I have not come across any of these oil things that they're talking about. Each oil deposit can be between 3,000 and 9,000 buckets of oil, which is huge. Refining oil on site into either light fuel or diesel or both is perfectly viable. Next quest explains what they are good for. Store this into drums, but you will try... you'll want to use super tanks pretty soon, basically, it says, which we might actually look at doing the super tanks. I have gotten refinery gas before. I guess it doesn't count that I've done that. So going up here, we want to look at the distillery, which I do have a basic distillery. I think the only difference is the speed on which these things work. that's true. So this one takes 1.5 seconds. Let's look at the, well, yeah, that doesn't help. I really don't know if there's actually a difference in output on the distilleries. So before we start, here's something to consider to get to glorious ethylene. The oil route, for the oil route, you'll need LV. With biomass route, so I'm not using biomass, you need MV. So I guess that's what it is. So advanced, you need it for the biomass one. Get either to complete the quest. I will go pick that other one up. Now let's discuss the topic of distillation. This guide will help you understand why JEI recipes are the way they are, so stick with me. Nearly all the distillery recipes are duplicates from the distillation tower, except they only have one fluid output and void everything else. In other words, you could argue the distillery is inferior to distillation tower. It is. This doesn't mean that the distillery is always inferior, though. It is unlocked earlier, smaller, cheaper, and more energy efficient per recipe. So that's true for sure. But when later on, it'll be more energy efficient to cycle it into everything, because you can always then refine the other parts into fuel to go back into the system. So that's something that you will have to do. Although this one part I did look at is kind of true. In many cases, you won't even mind losing the other fluids. Looking at the heavy oil basically does nothing else but heavy oil. When you refine it down, it becomes like 120 buckets of it will refine into heavy oil, and the rest of it is like, oh yeah, 20, you get like 20 sulfuric gas, basically nothing of anything else. Distilleries are an essential component to power generation, whether you pick diesel or benzene. You'll probably want many of them and as low tier as possible to avoid the energy losses from overclocking. So we'll definitely bring those over, or bring that over here in a second. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's go take a nap really quick. I will grab my distillery that I've got slapped down. Honestly, though, looking through it, I'm kind of a little bit mad. I beat myself up over it earlier because I did grab this distillery way earlier than I realized I needed it. But at the same time, it's actually kind of nice that I grabbed it so early, because it made the aluminum pieces that I kept getting a lot cheaper, because one less aluminum per machine means every 8 machines you craft, which I think we've technically already crafted 8 machines at this point. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess we're just one shy of 7 machines, but we almost basically have an extra machine now, a free machine, so to speak, because of doing that. So now, here we go. We put your previously made biomass into an MV distillery to make ethanol. You will need this for ethylene by reacting it with sulfuric acid in an MV reactor chamber, unless you choose the oil path. It says, do not try to use ethanol as a power source. You may regret it. If you want organic-based power, use benzene. So I did want to take a look at that, because it says it keeps recommending diesel. Okay. If I can get my box to work and type it properly, diesel. So we got right there, diesel. So if I use that, so I do not have the combustion engine, which it looks like that would probably be my best bet to do that. So I'm going to have to look at making one of these later on. But you can make a basic combustion engine. That's actually pretty interesting. You want the advanced, and be a little bit expensive on materials that I have currently, but that would be nice to be able to power these a lot simpler. Let's see. Okay. So, making light fuel. Okay, so if you read about the previous quest, this shouldn't be too hard. If you didn't, what are you waiting for? Distilling oil will give you fuel that you will need to desulfurize. Hydrogen sulfate is perfectly recycled in the electrolyzer. To automate this process, simply place your chemical reactor and your electrolyzer next to each other, be sure to use your screwdriver to enable input from the output side. And then light fuel is a good power option, but there is something even greater. Check the quest to the left. And then I guess it shows you the diesel. So let's go ahead and get a little platform set up here, and I'll be right back. Because I also have to make a second electrolyzer because I accidentally scrapped my old one. Yeah, I didn't want to scrap it. I was going to scrap the mixer, and then I scrapped the electrolyzer. So I will be back when I've made another one of these. And go ahead and pin that up there. And gotten myself a little platform set up to be able to do some of this processing. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and take this glue, there's rubber. I should have an empty barrel over here. Meantime, I'm just going to grab a barrel, slap it right next to that outport, and be able to pick it up. So... Alright, we'll be back, because I gotta go look for this stuff. Alright, now besides adding a combustion engine over here, I do have to just figure out what I gotta do to hook this up. So, it does need in the distillery. Hold on, this real quick. So, make light fuel. It needs to be in the electrolyzer, and then the chemical reactor. So, guess what I'm going to want to do. So actually, what do you want? This, that. I want the electrolyzer here. Pick that up real quick. Even this out a little bit. Probably I'll put out one more on that side. Now I just gotta go grab my chemical reactor I have over here. Just like I said, I built everything I needed for it. Didn't realize that it wasn't going to be as helpful as I thought it would be. At least to start with. Then we want it to output this side, allow input from output. That. So, make sulfuric light fuel. We need to put it in. And then on the input, oil, we'll just get 25 straight across. And then to get light fuel, we need I think what I'm just going to want to do is another distillery. What is the distillery? What is the distillery recipe? Wasn't too hard, especially since I already have an electric pump, which means I could just cycle it across. Means let's go through that. So you don't want to put it. Go ahead and put that there. We want that wrenched that way. Notice in the chemical reactor we need to make light fuel. In the chemical reactor we need hydrogen. So I do have hydrogen in this one, so we'll go ahead and dump hydrogen there. Now I believe if I go grab some pipes, I should be able to hook it up. So let's go. Grab a couple pipes here. I think I do actually have to whip up a couple more pipes, so I will be right back. It looks like the answer to that is no. I do have 18 of these or not 18, 12 of these outlet pipes here. So let's go ahead over, get this a little bit hooked up. So we need the output to come from here, come down, across, and into distillery. That'll start filling up. Once it's done in the distillery, we do need it to output over here. And the only other thing we gotta check, so with the sulfuric light fuel, it does need to be on number 2. Did want to check what other recipes we got. So you can make gas with a little bit higher ratio. It's about the same power. But light fuel is apparently going to be a little bit better for us, just so we can make it a combustion engine to power all this. And I should be able to start it up with just a little bit of something else, and then once it starts up, I can basically run this thing forever, as it generates us some fuel, and even I get some diesel going, but I think diesel requires heavy fuel, so I'd have to do a double distillation over there to make the diesel. So instead, what we're just going to go ahead and do, grab ourselves, what was it? Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and make ourselves a combustion chamber really quick. I think I can just get it kicked off with some oil. What's this? Combustion. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and build one of these. I'll be right back. Let's kind of finish up what we're doing here. I just figured I'd grab a little bit of this raw oil, dump it in. I guess that does not work. I'm gonna have to go see if I have. So fresh this is really hard to get rid of. Let's go see if I have anything. I might be able to just see if ethylene works in there for a second. So I know I have a little bit of that. Ethylene, I got polyethylene. I don't think this will work in there though. Probably will have to kickstart it with some sort of, even just like a steam turbine or something. Nope. Yeah, so oil, raw oil. There is no way for you to do that. So apparently can't get any raw oil. So I'll be back when I find a fuel source, and I will get this going. Alright, we are back now, finally, after quite a bit of time. However, I do got it all set up here. Hopefully, we should be able to set this up, do what I wanted it to do. So we're going to have the auto output be item, which that item is sulfur. This is auto output fluid, and I have accidentally taken all of the hydrogen out. So let's go check that hydrogen thing over here again. It's gone. So find a quick way to get myself some hydrogen, which I believe best way to get that is probably just water. Or electrolyzing something, I guess. Centrifuging. Centrifuge. No. Distillation. No. Electrolyzer. Distilled water. Water. So go ahead and void out Oh wait, no. I should be able to just...
I'm pretty sure they're all on the same size. You can check it, but I'm pretty sure they're all the same size. I just realized I'm still streaming.
I actually have a use for these now. That's nice. So if I come up here and throw that in, I don't think I need a recipe thing in there, so we'll see. But if I set this up, I put this in there, looks like I do need a circuit in the electrolyzer. That is going to give me oxygen, which I'll have to... I guess I'll just void this out because at this point I might as well. So using this in the electrolyzer does need a circuit. No? No, it just needs the medium voltage. Wonderful. So let's hop on over to the medium voltage one. Make them run a little bit faster just by using our glider. Then if I dump that in there, it should go ahead and just run through the process. There we go, we got ourselves some hydrogen. Grab just the 6 buckets worth here. Now, if I go back over there, should be able to just flat out dump this in here. Start the process by putting a 2 in there. Drain some battery power. We want to auto output fluid. That'll go in over here. Uh-oh. There's my problem. Stop the auto output. I knew I was doing something janky. So let's store this right up there. Because once we get the sulfuric, we use the sulfuric with the light in the chemical reactor. So what I want to do is rearrange this. We want the chemical reactor first. Then the basic electrolyzer. It's going to be on top. The right tool. So then that means we want to do the wrench screwdriver trick here. We want the electrolyzer on top. Come back over here. We're going to grab this out of here. Well, that's fine because I just totally voided my hydrogen again. So electrolyze the hydrogen, or the hydrochloric acid, though I should get what I need. So that's going to go in there. This, we need to get this off. This is now useless, but we can take the electric pump that I was using here, and I can put that down on the bottom, which will pump out the fluid. Take this cable here. Place it down. Pick it up. Place it down. Going to turn this that way. Should be able to put that there. would like that facing the right way, please. Oh, and so this should output my items now. Auto output items. So we'll get sulfur in there. Then I guess we just eventually need to get another pump. But if I hook this up properly, I should be able to start the oil. Came up over here to grab one thing, and I forgot what it was. Oh, hydrochloric acid. I wanted to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Go put those in the electrolyzer over here. I think we can just put down our gas turbine again. Manner I wanted. Get the gas back in it from... It's not this one, it's this one. Right? Refinery gas, yes. Put the refinery gas back in there. Get it placed down so we know this is the one that belongs over here. Back over to the electrolyzer and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab all 6 buckets of the hydrogen. Take a quick nap, reset the daytime so we can see a little bit better. This is real cool. Don't do that next time, guys. If I remove this, set this up just like so. And put this right on in there. Do I need to do a recipe for this? Or I don't think I have enough. Let's do the auto output again. Looks like I need a circuit, so let's look at this. This is... Oh, no, it doesn't need a circuit. It's just got to get to 12. So as soon as this fills up to 12, we should get ourselves a decent chunk here of sulfuric, or of light fuel. I'm hoping that it doesn't try to pump the light fuel in the electrolyzer. It should only try to pump sulfuric acid. Take just a second because it does take a lot of these little crafts to get it going. But let's look at our fluid regulator really quick. So the fluid regulator I think it just needed an electric pump, to be honest. I wish these were a little bit easier to craft. But not so much. Just another second here. 125, I guess a little bit longer. Definitely will come back and replace these with these lossless cables that I have over there eventually. So I got a couple more. Be back in just a second. I'm not gonna make you guys wait for this. Alright, so I did just start processing. It's gonna take the 8 seconds, and we are out of power. That's not. That is very bad. So now we're gonna go grab that steam turbine. Place it over here and gas turbine, I guess is what it is. Not the polyethylene, this one. So this should help us get through the full craft of it. And out it comes. Hydrogen sulfate should auto export up the top. Is it not? It doesn't want to do that. So it should just auto export it. Why is it not? Hmm. So that is definitely something we have to figure out here. But I don't think I can put that back, can I? Nope. So I guess what we'll do is we'll come over here. That wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. It's not too much to lose. Get our combustion engine down. Fill it up with fuel. Looks like it will keep this thing going. So, don't know why. It's not outporting the top, but I'm gonna have to take a look at that when I get a chance to. I don't know if you can apply an item filter. That might be what it is. I need to go get some olivine item filters. Should be able to apply it to the top and just have it, the hydrogen sulfate, be what it auto filters. But for now, if I want to, I should be able to just do that. Put that in there. It'll electrolyze and pumps the hydrogen right back in there. So I'm going to get a fluid regulator on this so I can cap it in, and probably an item filter on the top and side to make sure that it fills out properly. But in the meantime, I should be able to just place a drum right there and pop out this other 400. Oop. Place more machines in my hand, thank you. Right there. Now we got ourselves some light fuel. Guess it's not. Maybe if I do this, maybe it should finish the quest. There we go. And now it'll let me look at cracking this. So if I want to, I'm going to need to crack it with steam. Best way to crack it with steam is to get just another steam generator. Or some, I'm probably going to do just a single one of those out over here. I'll set it up probably just like on top. Have this pump. I need to get 2 of these out here, so I'll probably actually split it off here. Get ourselves a second chemical reactor out here, because I'm going to need to get this wired over to our combustion engine so that we can continuously power it. Maybe even get like a buffer to fill it up first. so that it will fill up before I just use it all in some other craft, so that this can keep going. But yeah, pretty awesome. We'll be able to get our way the rest of the way to plastics next time, actually, even though I've already been over here. This will make things a lot nicer. And once we get into this, we can really get into some other things. Probably going to get plastic done next time with a cutting machine and laser engraver, because I've already done the plastic before. So now that I've gotten to the point where I've automated it, it'll be so much easier. Thank you guys for joining me to figure out this daunting task. Every time I've looked at this, I've felt so overwhelmed, and now it feels so much easier looking at it. See you guys next time. Bye!